Before you proceed to watch the tutorial, please note that this is my first tutorial, and if it's not the best quality, I'm sorry. I did the best I could. I'm new to video editing, and if you did enjoy the content, please subscribe to my channel because I can only get better from here. Hello everyone, and welcome to my Gears of War 3 Seriously 3.0 Onyx Metal Guide. There's a couple things that I need to note before you decide to get up and get this achievement, and that is, you're going to need as much resources as possible. When I say resources, I mean either a second Xbox on standby with a second copy of Gears of War 3, or a couple friends online that you can help them get their Onyx medals and they'll help you get yours in return. The second thing to note is that you'd either want to have a YouTube series that you could watch on standby, or have a lot of music, because you're going to be doing a lot of grinding and a lot of hours are going to be put into this achievement. Alright, last thing you're going to want to do is go to this website. Don't worry, the link will be in the description, and you're going to want to download the document. You're going to have Microsoft Excel. This guy's name is Control-Alt-V, and I'd like to thank him for putting this out there. You're going to click the line with the arrow, download it from the Google Docs, and there's a couple things you're going to need to fix. Vengeful is completely off, so you're going to need to put Vengeful to 10, 20, 50, and 100. Change it to 10, 50, 150, and 300. Next, you're going to need to go to Headshots and make that 4,000 instead of 6,000. Sapper, you're going to need to put to 200 and 1,000. And lastly, where the equation says out of 65, you're going to change that to 62. Now that you've done all that, you're able to begin this achievement. To keep this organized, I'm going to split this up into Versus, Horde, Beast, and then Campaign. Here's the Versus hub. Click on whatever mode you need, and it will take you directly to that point in the video. We're going to be moving down the list, and the first on the list is Vengeful. To get Vengeful, you're going to go to the main menu, plug in a second controller, press any button on the second controller, and press A on your first controller. You're then going to go to King of the Hill, do the same exact settings I do, and make sure weapon respawn is on after use. You're going to pick the map Checkout, and you're going to put a couple long shots on the map. The rest of the guns don't matter. With your first player, you're going to pick a Locust with a big head, and you're going to make sure your second controller is on the cog side. As soon as the game starts, you're going to run over with your second controller and pick up the long shot at regular long shot spawn, and then you're going to go pick up the long shot at incendiary spawn. The reason you do this is because the one in incendiaries will respawn every 30 seconds. You're going to snipe your first player 5 times. Your first player will always respawn right behind you. After you finally get 5 kills with the second player, you're going to pick up your first controller and you're going to run over and chainsaw your second controller. You can dispatch him any way you want. You can curb stomp him, you can retro charge him, just make sure it's an execution or it won't count towards the progress. And all you have to do is with your first controller pick up the sniper rifle he dropped and the one at incendiary spawn. Then with your second controller, go and kill your first controller. Rinse and repeat. Next medal is Captor. To obtain Captor, you're going to go on King of the Hill and put the exact same settings I do. Rounds to win 2, round score limit 60, fill with casual bots, bleed out time 10, and the weapon respawn after use. Pick the map Thrashball and disable every single weapon. Then, put Bolthawks on the map. You're going to be putting Bolthawks on the original Bolthawk spawn, the Gorgon spawn, the Digger, the Torque Bow, and the Frag Grenades. Start the game with whatever loadout you'd like. I like to go with the Retro Lancer and Nashor because it's easier to down them with the Retro Lancer. As soon as the game starts, run up to Bolthawk spawn and pick up that Bolthawk. Then run into the middle and pick up that one. Finally, run down to the Frag Grenade and pick up that one. Be careful, there may be a bot about to attack you. After all that, pick up a meat flag and start demolishing. Try to get as many headshots as possible, so that way you don't have to get as much later. The next 5 medals don't need a video explanation. War Supporter was obtained legitimately by every single gamer who had played online. MVP I can almost guarantee you will obtain when getting all the weapon kills, but if you do not, Warzone with 2 rounds, full bots of casual, and just go ham. You'll get MVP every single time. Field service I won't go much into because I can guarantee that you will get it when going for these medals. It's probable that veteran and match runner will be obtained when going for the game modes, but if it's not, then use the King of the Hill method. Most, if not all, of the headshot medal will be completed when you finish the other medals, but for the remainder, do the same thing you did for capture, but this time it's not mandatory to pick up the meat flag. Alright, the next medal to get is heavy weapons. To get heavy weapons, you're going to go to King of the Hill, round score limit 60, rounds to win 2, fill with casual bots, make sure that your weapon respawns on after use, and bleed out time doesn't really matter. Set the smoke, mortar, and mulch response to mulcher. Then, load up Thrash Ball with a hammer burst. As soon as the game starts, run to the barricade that I do and get your first blood. Then run up to the mulcher at smoke grenade spawn, then walk down to the mulcher at mulcher spawn, shoot a couple bullets off, and then pick up the mulcher at the bottom. You may have to fight off a bot or two. If you're running out of ammo, drop the mulcher in your hands, pick up the one that's spawned, drop it on the floor, pick up your original one, and grab the ammo. You do this because you'll get 200 bullets instead of 100. Here's an alternative method to getting heavy weapon kills. I have to give a shout out to my friend because he showed me how to do this. This method gets you more skunks than heavy weapon kills. Load up a game of Warzone with round time limit 1, rounds to win 2, and fill it with casual bots. Select gridlock and make the long shot the only mortar on the map. Disable everything else. As soon as the game starts, run up to the long shot original spawn and pick up the mortar. Try to get yourself a Quinn. I'm not the best with the mortar. The next medal is explosives, and to get this, you're going to get it the same way you're going to get most of the weapons in this achievement. Set up a King of the Hill, rounds to win 2, round score limit 60, put the bots to casual and filled, then make sure that friendly fire is on, and put weapon respawn to after use. Put the map on Thrash Ball, and put the weapon you want on the smoke grenade, the mortar, and the mulcher, run up and grab the one at smoke grenade, and run down and grab the one at mulcher. Same as always, make sure you get your first blood, then travel on up and pick up your weapons. Since this is a major portion of the medals, a few things to note is that they will come down from behind you and try to kill you. Generally they'll spawn at the frags or behind you, and they'll walk down to the left and the right, so you'll have to watch your left and right, and sometimes they will spawn to the left and the right of the frags as well, so watch all 5 sides. And lastly, it can take more time if they break the ring, so try your best to not let them. Like with pistol and capture kills, try to get as many headshots as you can out of the way so you don't have to do them later. Don't start Finisher until you've completed Lancer, Curb Stomps, and Vengeful. To get Finisher, load up a game of Raven Down on King of the Hill with the same settings you used to get weapon kills. Change the frag and Incendiary to Lancer and make your weapon loadout have a Lancer. Pick up the chainsaw on the truck, then turn around the left corner and chainsaw the enemies. After that, just run around and chainsaw. If you've done every other medal and Skunker is the last one you need, load up a game of Execution with Classic Stalemate off, rounds to win 2, run time limit 1, and make sure that you have insane bots or casual bots, either one is really fast. You're also going to need to make sure that you have a second player in, and he's going to go on the Locust side, and you're going to go on the Cog side. Make every weapon boom shots. As As soon as you selected everything, press start, and if you have a wireless controller, unplug your battery pack right away. As soon as the game starts up, turn off your TV and walk away from your Xbox and allow it to boost in your spare time. The next medal is leader, and to obtain it, you're going to have 2 signed in profiles, and press start on your second controller from the main menu. Load up a capture leader with leader capture time at 10, rounds to win at 1, fill with casual bots, and bleed out doesn't matter. Load up checkout, and your characters don't matter, it's just a complete coincidence that Farmer John is Dominic. When the game loads up, go with your first player and capture the enemy leader. That'll nab you 1 capture. When the game starts up, you'll notice that you're leader, and you'll be leader for this match and every match that follows. Now all you have to do is with your second controller run up and capture the leader, and your first controller will get an untouchable. For the abductor medal, just load up a game of capture leader on Raven Down with 15 rounds to win, leader capture time 10, 0 bots, and I'm going to let the video do the rest of the explaining. Most of the assistant medal will be completed throughout the course of the other medals, but for the remainder, either go online on King of the Hill or any other game mode and allow your teammates to take your kills, or go on a game full of bots and let your bots take your kills. Either way, you'll get the medal. The next medal is Medic, and it's going to be one of those medals where it's really going to help you out if you have a couple friends to help you get the medal. Assuming you have friends to help you, load up a game of Capture Leader. Nothing really matters except for make sure there's at least 2 rounds, you have leader capture time at 10, and there's no bots. Load up Overpass, and make sure that the person obtaining the medal is on a team with another person. Once the game loads up, get in the middle where the turret is located, and set yourself up just like we do in the video. The person on the turret is going to continuously shoot your leader, and it's all about finding the sweet spot. I typically find that the pubic region is the best area to aim and shoot. Continue picking up your leader until you get your medic medal, or in my case, the second occurrence of the medal. For the cover medal, after finishing all of the game modes and getting all the weapon kills, you should be just about done, if not done, with this medal. So to get the rest, just play offline or online and cover all the time you can, and finish off the last few you have. Active reloader should come naturally after finishing all the weapon kills, but if you do not finish it, just put you and a not signed in character against you, and make sure there's no bots, put all the weapons to snub pistol, and just spam active the snub pistol until you get it. This next video will explain to you how to get your Lancer, your Retro Lancer, your Nasher, and your sawed-off kills. In the video I use a Lancer though. So to get the previously mentioned medals, you're going to load up a game of King of the Hill with round score limit 60, rounds to win 2, fill with casual bots, and be certain that friendly fire is on. Weapon respawn needs to be on after use as well. After that, set the map to Raven Down, and make sure that you change the incendiary and the frag to the weapon you need. You don't need to change anything else because the frag and incendiary are the only weapons to spawn on that map. After you've picked up the ammo for your weapon, turn around the left corner and kill the enemies you see. Then you have a choice to go behind you or go to the right. I choose to go to the right because there's more enemies and that's where they spawn. When going for your assault rifle and shotgun kills, spot as many people as possible to get the medal out of the way. Also, take note that when going for the Retro Lancer and Lancer kills, the bayonets for those weapons work towards the finisher medal, so if you get bored of just shooting, use the chainsaw and the blade to get some of the executions out of the way. The second round of the match is a bit different than the first. You will spawn where you had originally gotten your first few kills. Move out to your right and take the ammo in the truck, then go to the same area as in round 1. Don't be afraid to kill your teammates for ammo. I was really frustrated with the hammer burst, as it is one of, if not, the hardest weapon to get. I found this method and it worked like a charm. Load up a King of the Hill with rounds score 60, rounds to win 2, and fill it with casual bots. Pick the map Thrashball with the Boltok, Orgin, Frag, Digger, and Torque Ball all as hammer bursts. Disable everything else. Run up and grab the hammer bursts at Boltok/Orgin spawn. Get on the cover I do and just start gunning them down. Try to stay close to this cover because it gives you a great vantage point, and it also gives you a buttoned up ribbon to go towards your 600 required. Try to pace your trigger finger when doing this. I don't recommend going over 600 kills in a given day, as your finger will begin to ache. The second round will be mirrored over the map. It'll be the same method as the first round, but you'll use the cover opposite of round 1's. Since pistol is the same as explosives and heavy weapons, I will only be showing you the settings and how the match plays out when using a pistol. I recommend the Boltok, but the snub works as well. Since, more than likely, the spotter medal will be done upon weapon completion, I won't give you a video explanation, though I will be telling you of a way to get it post-weapon medal completion. To get it, all you have to do is either play online and spot everybody you can, or play with bots and find a perch, like the one on Thrashball, and just spot away. The Pyro medal requires more concentration than most medals. It's much easier for something to go wrong. Anyway, load up King of the Hill with round score limit 60, rounds to win 2, filled with casual bots. Friendly fire must be on, and weapon respawn set to after use. Pick the map Mercy with the Boltok, Orgin, Mortar, and one-shot set as a Hammer of Dawn. Be sure your weapon loadout has a Retro Lancer to down the charging enemies. Grab the Hammer of Dawn at Boltok spawn, then run up and get your first blood like I do. Next, grab the Hammer of Dawn at Moltra spawn. Watch out as the Locust might try to come up behind you and kill you. After all that, just begin using the hammer on all the Locusts. It's more efficient to hold it down rather than use short bursts. Also, be attentive on the ammo that may spawn, as the bots like to crowd it and grab it. For the most part, I would just kill them, but I allowed them to grab it in the tutorial for educational purposes. If a bot does grab your ammo, kill them immediately. It doesn't matter if they backpacked your weapon or not. If they did, it will respawn in 30 seconds. If not, just pick up the ammo on the floor. The second area the ring shifts to is harder to get kills at, but it's still possible. Aim your hammer where I do, it will kill any of the enemies in the vicinity, though take heed, your allies will also be killed, giving the opposing team an opportunity to claim the ring. Sapper is near impossible to get without a second player or a friend helping you. Set up a game of team deathmatch with max score and rounds to win. Turn off bots and put the weapon respawn to after use. Pick the map checkout and put the Boltok, Orgin, Ink, Incendiary, Mulcher, Digger, and the long shot to incendiary frag grenades. Also change the frag grenades to hammer bursts for ammo. Once the game begins, have the person obtaining the medal get into the Boltok spawn room redo. Once the player arrives and picks up the incendiary frag grenades, depending on what you have chosen, move counterclockwise around the map, heading first from that Boltok to Mulcher, to the other Boltok, to Longshot, to Ink Grenade, then to the original Boltok room. Every player plants grenades in different spots. Roughly putting where we do will help smooth things out. Try not to block the player like I did by accident. If you haven't noticed, this clip is considerably slower than the rest. I did this intentionally to make observing two screens much easier. I also did it like this so you can see where I plant the grenades to make reproducing it for yourself a lot more simple. The second round should be a carbon copy of the first round, the only difference being spawn locations. Go to the same Boltok room we did, but this time the person obtaining the medal will have to run over. If you're working with a friend who needs this medal, this would be a good point to switch. The Guardian medal is yet another medal that, having a friend, will help you greatly. All things aside, it is still possible to get with one person, but it's much harder. I'll go into that in full detail later. To obtain Guardian, set up a capture leader on checkout where leader capture time is 60, the rounds to win set to 4 or greater, and only one casual bot. It's easier with all weapons disabled, but the bare minimum is to disable the frags. Your loadout should consist of a Retro Lancer or Hammer Burst, as you can't smack with a Lancer. Make sure you set the teams up so the person obtaining the medal is on the team with a bot. Should be the COG team. I'll explain how to get it with one person, but if you want to get it with 2 people, just use the video as your explanation. Both use the same method and settings, the only difference is the way you start the match and how you capture the enemy leader. To obtain it by yourself, it is first advised to put a useless weapon at the Voltok so the bot will go for it and it'll slow them down. Player 1 is on the COG side and player 2 is on the Locust. Using player 2, go and grab their leader and bring him to the frag spawn like we do. After that, using player 1, smack down the queen and your own leader. When the queen gets back up, press X if you're on default control scheme, or Y if you're on alternate. Continue the process of downing the queen and your leader. To make the rounds last longer, smack the queen once before she grabs your leader, and smack her again when she does pick him up. This will keep the capture clock from counting down. The main reason this is much easier with 2 people is that you, as an individual, have to, as player 1, hold B to smack down the leaders, then, as player 2, tap A to get up faster and then pick up the COG leader, then hold B again on player 1 moving slightly to your left and right. That's a lot to do for one person. For the game modes, I'll be showing you the recommended settings. Though these aren't mandatory, you should follow them down to a T. Even the team you're on, because they maximize the amount of medals you can obtain. To show the medals you can obtain for each game mode, they'll be displayed in the top left hand corner. For the ones that say you can obtain a cover medal, you can only get one by slamming yourself in the nearest cover the moment the game starts. You can obtain more if you watch the matches as they are being played, and every time you're not on cover, just put yourself on some. A few things to know about boosting game modes is that you might want to play in a local lobby, even if you have gold. The reason being is because if you disconnect while it's boosting, you'll be thrown into the main menu, belonging for a purpose. Also, when boosting these medals, it's likely you'll obtain a few other medals. You'll also knock a great deal of skunks out of the way if you follow these instructions. Getting the hill matches will always be a victory for you, so that means match winner will be obtained just by doing that game mode. But since the bots aren't set to fill, you won't get a skunker. Lastly, since you'll be leaving your Xbox running for a long period of time, you might want to make sure that it is in a well-ventilated area, as well as to install the Gears of War 3 game to your hard drive as to not break the game. If your game does break, I hold no responsibility, but you do have my condolences. To put it in perspective, this happened in my game. Luckily, I was able to get a second copy, but I didn't install the first copy, thus the reason it broke. Hard target has a very, very high chance of unlocking when doing the game modes. If you're getting close to finishing the game modes but not hard target, don't fret. I got it twice while only using 1-round games and not 2-round games. Shock Trooper will unlock whilst going for the weapon kills. 2 first bloods, 20 to 30 kills a game, 40,000 plus kill requirement. Yeah, you'll definitely get it. Old Schooler was one of the harder medals for me to earn, so grind out the medal, load up King of the Hill with round score 16, rounds to win 2, fill it with casual bots, and put the bleed out time to 10. I didn't because I'm a Jimmy flop, but it is required. Change the frag and incendiary grenades to any starting weapon you want. When the match begins, grab the ammo and down the enemies to your left. Then curb stomp them. In this entire section I was being a dumb potato, but it should be easier than I make it look. Battle Mistress is going to be obtained as long as you selected a female character before starting the boosting matches. Contrary to popular belief, Baird is not a female character. Sovereign should be completed when finishing Abductor and Leader. If you have any left, just use the Abductor method. By rule of deduction, with 12,000 plus map-based weapon kills required for other medals, this medal should, in other words, complete itself. That's all the medals for Versus. Now we're moving on to Horde. Here is a Horde hub. Pick the medal you need to get. I will give you forewarning, most of the horde medals have to be obtained legitimately. One does have a workaround though, but for the most part I'll be showing you the recommended settings, map, and base placement for the others. For the horde is easier with the more people you have. I wouldn't even suggest trying it by yourself. To begin, you obviously have to have the settings shown on screen. I highly recommend doing the same mutators I do, super active reload and infinite ammo for plainly obvious reasons. Vampire, so that you can keep firing at the enemy as they attack you. With the super active reload, they get demolished as you keep gaining health. Pick Blood Drive because there is a very useful trick that will help you when playing high waves of the game. Note that this trick requires a minimum of 2 people, but the more you have the better. Pick this base, this is where the trick can be performed. Cover in either of these covers and have some people camp in the hospital to watch your back. In the later waves, spread your forces evenly between this room and the Boltok room. Set up a crossfire, and all you need to worry about is tickers and boomers. Order has to be obtained through actually playing the game. If you want my advice to make the rounds go faster, play on casual starting with wave 1, and put the mutators, super active reload, infinite ammo, and instigate melee on. The map doesn't really matter, but my favorite map is Escalation because you can sit up at the top and mow them down as they come in. It's a cutthroat area, and it's a great place to play if you're playing alone. Architect is the one medal that has a workaround, and to do it, plug in a second controller and load up Horde on casual with starting wave 1, and put the friendly fire mutator on and pick checkout. When the game begins, pull out your smoke on both players and get your founder ribbon on player 1. Then plant a smoke on each other, and it's imperative that when you restart from beginning and not restart from wave. Repeat the process as many times as you want. At this particular base, you might pick up the frags instead. It's okay if you do, just walk over to your guest and kill him and you. When you're finished, just hit return to main menu and the founder ribbons you obtained will automatically be saved. Note that XP gained or lost will not be saved. The other 4 horde medals don't have a workaround or fast way to get them, with the exception of squad leader and big money. With the squad leader, you can guarantee yourself a point man ribbon by putting in a second controller whenever going for the hoarder medal. As for big money, just load up a casual game on wave 50 with Instagib, Vampire, and super active reload mutators on, go around the map you have chosen and smack all the boss and bigger characters, then let a little guy kill you, and repeat the wave doing that until you get the medal. That's it for the horde medals. We're now moving on to Beast. Before we get started, I'd like to say that due to my absence of gold, I will not be doing a full I'm a Beast video walkthrough, but I will be able to tell you what to do wave by wave. For the most part, the Beast medals have to be obtained by playing the game, though I can tell you a method for High Roller, and as I said, I'll tell you what to do for I'm a Beast wave by wave. Here's the I'm a Beast medal wave by wave walkthrough. I haven't got mine in a while, but I've seen that the more people, the better, but the prime number is about 3 players. The best maps to do it on are Dry Dock, Trenches, Raven Down, and Checkout. I personally got mine on Trenches. Wave 1, player 1 and 2 spawn in as a Savage Drone, and the rest don't spawn in and save the money. Wave 2 and 3, all players spawn in as a Savage Drone and go around the map and decimate the waves. It's really simple. Wave 4, if somebody can spawn in as a Cantus, do it. Only 1 or 2 are needed, and also having 1 Mauler couldn't hurt. Wave 5, spawn in as characters from Wave 4, but if somebody can spawn in as a Boomer, do it. Again, you'll need at least 1 Cantus, but 2 Boomers can use their infinite ammo to kill everyone at long range. Try and coordinate your attacks so you can kill the heroes, as they're the biggest threat and can only go down by a shot but be picked back up by anybody. Waves 6 through 9 do the same thing as Wave 5. For waves 9 through 12, 1 person spawns in as a Berserker, 1 is an Armored Cantus, and the rest spawn in as Boomers. Switch off who is the big guys each wave to amass more money. For High Roller, plug in a second controller and play through all 12 waves on casual. Suggested map is Checkout, and all the while getting the Ready for the Heavies ribbon. This is where you'll get most of the other Beast medals also. That's it for Beast. Now we're moving on to Arcade/Campaign. I'll be telling you how to get Warmonger and Tour Duty. They can both be done on Arcade. I'll also be showing you a method for King of Cog, number 1, Survivalist, and Aficionado. And lastly, I'll be showing you a method to get Force Multiplier. Let's get started. For Warmonger and Tour Duty, load up the prologue and saying, on Arcade, with the mutators Super Active Reload, Infinite Ammo, and Vampire. Play through each chapter, and again, it's more fun with more people. To get King of Cog, number 1, Survivalist and Aficionado all in one, load up Act 2, Chapter 2, and pick whatever mutators and difficulty you want. The harder the difficulty, the more points towards King of Cog. Play the entire chapter, and it's okay if you or your guest goes down, he'll get back up, just make sure that neither of you die. Once you get to this point, clear out most of the enemies with the catapult. Then, when the enemies start jumping from the holes, run up to the gate with player 1, and mop up the rest with player 2. Position yourself and run up the hill when the gate opens and receive all your medals and awards. Reload the checkpoint when you see the cutscene and repeat this process as many times as desired. When you're done getting medals, return to the main menu. If you need more, you'll have to do the chapter again. For Force Multiplier, load up Act 2, Chapter 7, and put the mutators Super Active Reload and Infinite Ammo on. The third mutator doesn't matter. As soon as the game loads up, get your active reload and get on the turret to the southeastern corner of the ship. Wait for Baird's voice cue and shoot the ship down right in front of you. Look to your right and shoot that ship down by looking to the top left hand corner of the ship. Get ready to shoot down these 2 Reavers. After doing so, get to the front of the ship and wait until Dom says, "Looks like the whole Grub Air Force is after us." This is the cue that the Reavers can be attacked. Kill them both. After killing the Reavers, attempt to shoot down this ship. It's okay if it's not shot down, you can still get max multiplier. Aim for the incoming Reavers, shoot them both down. If you miss the barge, you must kill both of them. Last thing you have to do is kill the barge that's in your way. Then, wait out the Tempest attack by going to the spot that I do. You're untouchable there. After the Tempest attack, you can restart the chapter to get more, or return to the main menu to quit. Doorman can be obtained by spamming piano usage. My favorite one is in Act 1, Chapter 1. Right after you speak to Jason, open the door upstairs that's right in front of you. You can use this one to get your entire medal. After all that, you should have your Seriously 3.0 achievement. It's been a long ride and I'd like to thank everyone for watching this video. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I am not the best at making tutorials, but I can always get better. This is my first one and it's been a blast for me to make, and I hope you enjoyed it. It took me about 2 weeks to make this, and I think progressively that my commentating and my editing got better as it went through. Utilize the comment section if you need help, want to find somebody to do the medals with, or give constructive criticism. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Please like, comment, rate, and subscribe.